What's up, gang? Hey man, in this video I'm gonna give you the real, raw, uncut truth about what it takes in order to become elite sooner rather than later. So if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Also join the CLG community. You have a 7-day free trial. Link is in the comment, link is in the description. You also get access to all of my work, and you get access to a free one-on-one call with me. Just send me a DM once you're inside, and you can also bounce questions off of me as well. And without further ado, let's just jump right into this video. What's up, man? Hey man, we ain't gonna do no reaction videos. I'm in Dallas, Texas, you know, making some things happen in the area, visiting one of the little rotations. And I'm just going to break down how you guys can become elite sooner rather than later. Because I just got an email from one of the guys. He was like, hey, man, you know, I'm doing the process, but I'm not getting no results. And then I emailed the guy back. I was like, hey, man, are you in the CLG community? No response. Most likely he's not, and most likely he's probably running a version of what he thinks the process is based off of the free YouTube content, but the real process, the real text scripts, the real stuff is on the inside. And once you get access to that stuff, and once you really start understanding women, and once you really start understanding female nature, you start understanding that getting access to her body is probably one of the easiest things that you can do. You'll start to understand that girls care more about how you act opposed to how you look. You might think that you're an unattractive guy, not knowing that you're actually extremely attractive, but the thing that's holding you back from having results from women is how you act. That's what's throwing her off. And then another thing that you'll understand is women actually truly love having sex with the right guy. For example, like I'm in Dallas kicking it with a chick, bro. I'm sick. Like I don't even want to fuck. This girl cannot stay off my dick. She cannot stop giving me head. Can't stop fucking. Like all she wants to do is fuck and suck me all the fucking time, to the point where I'm tired of fucking. Imagine that shit. Imagine the girl got me sucking my shit, fucking doing all. Well, I'm tired of it. Think about that. So if you guys ever want to get to a position where you have these type of girls obsessed with you, and we have a lot of guys that are actually in the CLG community, not the guys sending the emails that are not, but we have a lot of guys. Like I said, I'm still coming over a cold, but we have a lot of guys that are in the CLG community, and they're actually winning, and I'm talking about winning big time. We got guys that went from no rotation to, you know, guys, one of the guys in the Q&A said he went from 0 girls to a 7-girl rotation since he joined. We got guys making, I'm talking about major strides. We got guys sleeping with girls that they find, you know, attractive, sleeping with girls that are their type. And then not only sleeping with them, but keeping these girls around. Because it's one thing to just sleep with a girl and never see her again, but it's another thing to sleep with her and keep her around, keep her obsessed with you, keep her fiending for specifically you. Like, imagine this, a girl who has a bunch of options, a bunch of guys that are trying to get at her, but the only guy that she wants to be involved with is you. Imagine that shit. Imagine the girl has a bunch, and these guys are qualified, you know what I mean? Like the girl I'm here in Dallas with, like, she had ball players trying to get at her, trying to marry her, actually. You know, 6 guys taller than me, more successful, whatever the case is, trying to actually, like, marry her. And she turned them down for just to be in my rotation. Ain't that some crazy shit? So you got to understand that, like, once you really get this stuff figured out, and I'm just speaking to you, I'm speaking facts, I'm speaking honest with you guys. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing the reaction videos while I'm in Dallas, so I can edit them, put them up, because I got a lot of stuff on my schedule while I'm in town, and I'm also super sick. So I'm just giving you real raw, you feel me? And these might be some of my best videos to you guys, because it's gonna be real raw, straight to the point, and authentic. But I really want you guys to adapt this mindset, because at the end of the day, if you're not adapting this mindset, a lot of the cases, there are a lot of girls that you're leaving on the table that would be obsessed with you. But the reason that you're leaving these type of girls on the table is, I'm gonna be honest with you, is just because there's just something you're missing, right? There's something that you're missing. For some guys, it can be the knowledge, right? They don't have access to enough knowledge. For some guys, it can be the community, right? they don't have access to the correct or the right community. For some guys, it could be the internal battle that they fight within themselves. For some guys, it can be the fact that they don't portray enough masculinity when they talk to women. Every guy has their own battle. Your job is to get into the CLG community, learn what your specific hiccup is, and sometimes that could take time. And sometimes that could take time. I'm not expecting that to be overnight, because you got to truly be honest with yourself in order to find that missing link. You got to truly be honest with yourself in order to find that one thing that is holding you back from being great. Now, in the CLG community, we give you access to all of it, right? We give you access to the foundation. We give you access to female nature. We give you access to the process. We give you access to the text scripts. We give you access to everything that you need to be successful. But while you're going through that journey, and while you're talking to women, and while you're in the field, you got to find the thing that's stopping you personally from being great. And with the live Q&As, my job is to help you get to figure that out sooner rather than later. And once you figure it out, and once you have that epiphany, and once that clicks in your head, that's when you pop. And what it means by pop is pop means that's when you actually start getting results. And that's what you do it for. And here's the thing. Once you start getting results with women, and once you get great in that aspect, in that realm, and you start hooking up with the women that you actually like, right? It's one thing to hook up with women, but then it's a whole different thing to hook up with women that you actually adore and you actually like. Then once you get that, and that becomes second nature to you, then you can start to conquer other things. And those other things could be like making more money. Those other things could be like getting promotions, building better friendships, all types of, you can grow in different other types of areas. But I'll tell you one thing, once you master the women, the other things, in my opinion, become less difficult. So whether you want more money, whether you want, a better lifestyle, whether you want better connections, friendships, access, whatever, if you can master the women, the other things become a lot less difficult, in my opinion. And then that's when you that's when you really actually start getting on the path of an enjoyable life. Because it's a lot of people, whether you believe it or not, years and years and years and years of their life can pass doing the wrong thing, and they never, ever, ever even get on the path towards an enjoyable life. And what I mean by that is you can be on several 100 million different paths, but where are those paths leading, right? You can be on a path that is leading nowhere. You can be on a path that is filled with depression and sadness. You can be on the path that's filled with, you feel me, underachievement. You can be on the path that is just enjoyable. And that's where I try to get guys. I try to get guys on the path where the path itself is enjoyable. While you're on that path, forget where it ends, forget where it leads to, but while you're on the path, it's an enjoyable path. Meaning that every step that you take on that path, it's enjoyable. The fruits, the scene, the everything about that path is enjoyable the whole entire time. And I know I might sound crazy when I'm speaking about this stuff, but that is my vision for the guys that I try to help on the path to become elite. On the path to become elite, I want the guys to have an enjoyable experience on that path. And like I said, I might sound crazy for thinking like that, but that's how it was for me. Once I start doing the right things, once I got access to the right information, once I start implementing the right things, the path itself became enjoyable. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because I fell in love with myself, flaws and all. And one thing that you got to understand is when you fall in love with yourself, you do fall in love with the flaws and all. Like, I'm not 6'3", I'm 5'9", and I love that about myself. I'm not the tallest guy in the world. You feel me? Still have no problem with women. Not the women that I find attractive. You get what I'm trying to say? I love that about myself. I have found a way to love that about myself. I have no problems. I have no problems going out and gaming or going out and talking to girls. I don't even like to use the term gaming, but I have no problems going out, talking to girls, even when I see other taller guys around me. It doesn't bother me. You feel me? I'm not the most ripped guy in the world. I'm not those movie star ripped. But guess what? When I get done stretching some pussy, I have no problem walking around that girl's house with no shirt on. No problem, no issue. You feel me? Because I love myself. You get what I'm trying to say? And even if I was a little bit heavier with a bigger belly, and if I was too heavy for my own personal liking, then that's when I would slim down a little bit. Because what's more important is, do you love yourself? You feel me? That's what's more important. Fuck the girl's opinion for a second, right? When you're going through the foundation, especially in the CLG community, too many guys, they go in and they're so concerned about the woman's thought process. You feel me? They're so concerned about the woman's preferences. They're so concerned about the woman's what she will think about me. But if you really want to become an elite guy, what your concern should be is what you think about yourself. You have to be selfish. I hate to say it, before you can, worry about what somebody else thinks about you, what do you truly think about yourself when you look in the mirror? And only you can answer that question. Do you look in the mirror and you see a fat guy? If you look in the mirror and you see a fat guy, it is going to be very difficult for you to have the level of confidence that you should have when you're in front of a woman that you deem attractive. Think about that. If you look in the mirror and you see a fat guy, right? It's going to be very difficult for you to get in front of a woman that you deem attractive and have the level of confidence that is required. Because confidence is internal. And a lot of people think that confidence is being loud and being over the top. No, confidence can be quiet. You feel me? But it's an internal thing. Sorry for the cough, but confidence is an internal thing, not an external thing. And what I mean by external is, if you feel like the only reason that you're confident is because of external things that happen to you, you are in a bad spot. Meaning that I'm only confident if this particular girl likes me. If she does not like me, I lose my confidence. You're in a very bad spot. Because this is what I would tell you. My confidence remains sky high. I have been lied to by women. I have been turned down by women. I've been rejected by women. I have been called a creep by women. I have been called ugly by women. I don't lose no confidence when I'm talking to the next woman. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That woman's opinion of me does not bother me. One woman's opinion of me does not bother me because of my internal love for myself. You get what I'm trying to say? So because one woman thinks this way and I don't believe what she thinks, that allows me to go to the next woman who may even be hotter than her and execute and still probably end up sleeping with that woman eventually, because I didn't allow this one woman's opinion to shake me. But how do you get there? You get there with the foundation. And all the people that's, watching the video and be like, well, what is the foundation? Well, join the CLG community. You get a 7-day free trial. What do you have to lose? Jump in, get the foundation, lock into the community, talk to the guys there, join the Q&As, participate, and try to get better sooner rather than later. Try to become elite, because my goal is for every guy to become elite. And I'm not going to stop at nothing until that actually happens. Now, is it possible? We would never know. But is that my goal? Yes. Right? Is that the goal that I strive after? Yes. Is it possible? Well, it's only one way to find out. You know what I mean? Because not every guy's going to listen to me, regardless of the results that their peers are getting by following the process or whatever the case is. Not every guy's going to believe the stuff that I'm saying is true, regardless of the receipts, regardless of the endless examples of guys winning with the process, the CLG. Some guys and you can't blame the guy. We had one of the guys coming to the group. He was new to the group, and he got results fairly quickly. And he was like, I was so skeptical, because I've been ripped off and I've been lied to by so many different dating coaches. I was so skeptical to join the COG community. And when I joined it and got results so quickly, I was just like, wow, this is a breath of fresh air. This is a breath of fresh air that, somebody's actually out there, who knows what they're talking about and actually keeping it real and actually giving away all of the sauce. You know what I mean? Nothing held back. Giving away all of the information, nothing held back, no gatekeeping, nothing like that. Just giving you it real, raw, and uncut. And I understand why people feel that way, because, you do have two types of people, right? You have people who've been lied to, and after a while they just throw in the towel. It's just like, damn, every dating coach that I'm talking to or working with, I'm realizing that I can't get results with what they're talking about, and it's not working for me. And eventually those people throw in the towel. You know what I mean? I almost got to that point, because you got to understand, I spent thousands of dollars with dating coaches, just to find out that their shit doesn't work for me, right? So now for me, I'm so hard-headed and stubborn and all of these things, and it might be a genetic disposition of mine, because it might just be a genetic thing that I have of just not giving up or not throwing in the towel, or just being so hard-headed that I know it's possible. So I just don't give in. But even for me, like, after the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I spent, I realized that, like, there's got to be a solution to this problem. And I'm not going to stop until I figure it out. Now, luckily for me, I kept going, until I finally figured out the solution, understood women, understood everything. And then after I start getting results consistently, built rotations, sleeping with at my max, when I had my own crib, I was sleeping to 2 to 3 new girls a week. That was at my peak. 2 to 3 brand new girls every single week. That was when I was at my peak, and I wasn't going out all the time. I still had a job. I was meeting girls at grocery stores. I was meeting girls on Instagram. You know what I mean? I wasn't like putting my whole life to just talking to women, and I still hit that milestone. And once I hit that milestone, I didn't jump on YouTube right away or nothing like that, but I wanted to make sure I got consistent. I wanted to make sure I understood women. I wanted to make sure all of that. And then once I finally hit it and everything started finally clicking, that is when I decided to jump to the internet. That is when I decided to help. That is when I decided to make this YouTube channel, right? Years and years and years and years later, after I finally figured it out, that is when I decided I wanted to help others. You feel me? I didn't jump in prematurely. I didn't jump in before I knew the formula. I didn't jump in, to just start a YouTube channel and hope that, we can figure it out, as we go. You know what I mean? Now, I do update it the better I get. You feel me? Like I never stop trying to grow. Like there are things in the CLG community that some of the members even teach me. One of the things I haven't done yet, like the thing where the guys actually send a video of them fucking another girl to the girl that tried to ghost them, and then that girl responds to them favorably. I haven't done that yet, but that is something that I will probably do eventually. You get what I'm trying to say? So even I learn stuff from the guys in the community, because knowledge is one of those things, it never ends. If you want to see somebody who has stopped themselves from growing, look at a person who believes they know it all. And the reason why I say, if you want to see somebody who has stopped themselves from growth, look at a person who knows it all, is because we live in a world that is constantly adapting over time. So if you want to be one of those people that believe, I already got all the answers, I know everything, and you don't want to continue to grow, you got to understand, as the world continues to evolve, it will out-evolve you. Does that make sense? The world will out-evolve you. So one of the reasons why I take pride in continuous education, You understand what I'm trying to say? Continuously upgrading the systems, the process, the text scripts, things like that, is because I truly understand that you can always evolve, especially as the world evolves. Does that make sense? You can always evolve for the maximum results, especially as the world evolves. So that's another thing about the CLG community, is it's constantly evolving. Because one of the things about myself and a lot of the members in the group is we're actually in the field. What does it mean when I say in the field? We're actually talking to women in real time. And here's the kicker. We have guys all over the world, not just the USA. If you look at the map, if you go inside the CLG community, you're going to realize we have guys all over the world. And you're also going to realize that women are similar. I've slept with girls from that they live outside of the country. I've slept girls with that are born and raised inside of the country. I've slept with girls every shape, every size. Not every shape, I don't really like the fat ones, but you know what I'm trying to say. I've slept with girls from different backgrounds. I've slept with girls from different races, ethnicities. Here's the thing. What I found out is the majority of women are actually more similar than most men give them credit for. The majority of women actually are more similar than most men give them credit for. A lot of men, especially guys that aren't CLG, they believe that this particular girl that they're talking to is different from the other ones because of how she might portray herself. They might think she's more innocent than the other girls. Oh, she's not like that. Oh, she would never go for that. She'll never do that. That is all cap. These girls have fantasies. These girls like to be fucked. These girls like to be pursued. These girls like masculine men, especially if they're straight. If anything, they would be the outlier if they don't fall into the categories that I just explained. That would be an outlier woman. A woman who likes a feminine man, she would be an outlier. She wouldn't be the majority. You get what I'm trying to say? She would be the opposite. That's like the broken clock right twice a day. This is why men adapt the feminine traits that society puts on them. And this is why they don't sleep with girls once every 4 or 5 years, if at any time, because they're adapting such an unfavorable, unattractive trait. The majority of girls, they're going to repel away from them because the media doesn't want them to actually have women. The media wants these guys isolated and alone, because think about this. If the majority of people, the majority of men are isolated and alone, they cannot get pussy. This is how you recruit these men to be a part of your army. This is how you can recruit these men to be a part of hate groups. This is how you can recruit these men to do very violent things. The incels, the guys that don't get pussy, the guys that given up on life, the guys that believe that there is nothing they can do because no girl would ever want them, the guys that cannot mate, those are the guys that become very dangerous. So the army would have to recruit these guys so that they have guys that are willing to die on the front line. So yes, it is needed for these guys to exist, and these guys will always exist. But my goal is to try to save as many of those guys as I possibly can. Because the last thing that, we need is, more school shootings. The last thing we need is, more hate groups. The last thing we need is innocent people dying just because a guy couldn't figure out how to get pussy. You feel me? Or a guy couldn't figure out how to get his mental health in check, but the mental health actually stemmed from not living an enjoyable life. Not living life on his terms. Following the bullshit. Falling for the misinformation that the media has given him or her, whatever the case is, right? Obviously, for my examples, I'm talking about him because most of my followers are men. You know what I mean? The only girls that can benefit from my content are girls that are gay, and they're seeking to be more masculine so they can sleep with women. But here's the thing. A lot of these gay girls are actually more masculine than men. Think about that. You get a guy who's born a man, who's born with way more testosterone than a woman. Then you get a woman who decides to become a guy, and she can get more ass and more pussy than a straight guy because she she displays more masculine traits than a biological guy. That is the fucking world that we fucking live in today. Think about that. Like, just really think about what I just said. You will get a woman who was born a woman, who naturally has lower testosterone levels, who can out masculine a man who was born a man and take pussy off the table for that man. And she can actually get feminine women that are straight attracted to her. So, if you're one of those guys, like the guy that emailed me, if you're one of those guys and you still haven't figured it out yet, if you're still, and what I mean by figured it out is, be honest with yourself, because this is what I will tell you. When I was in the car business, I used to suck at selling cars, right? Sell 8 cars a month. Did you know the first thing that I had to do before I got great was I had to look into the mirror when nobody was watching, and I had to look into the mirror and I had to tell myself, damn, you suck, CJ. I never made excuses for myself or nothing like that. I just had to look in the mirror and be like, you fucking suck. You're talking to all these clients and you're only selling like 8 cars a month. And there's guys at your dealership selling 55 cars a month, 50 cars a month, 64 cars a month, 64 and a half. There are guys that exist in your dealership that are really, really, really performing. What are you doing wrong? So the fact that I mentioned to myself, they say that in those AAA meetings, they say the first thing, if you're an addict, you have to admit that you're an addict. Like, you have to be like, hey, I'm an alcoholic. Well, in my scenario, I had to say, damn, CJ, you suck. And that's very hard for a man to do because there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of stuff that he has to put aside in order to say that to himself. But then that very next day, I got back to the dealership and I started hanging around the top performers and I started asking them questions. How are you guys selling so many cars? I suck. I can't figure it out. I'm talking to all these clients and they told me I suck. They'd be like, yeah, bro, you burning through ups and shit. Burning through ups means you're talking to a lot of people and you're not getting a lot of sales. So they punched me in my face and they told me the fucking truth. And they said, yeah, we see you burning through ups and shit. You know what I mean? Damn, bro, all these ups you burning through, they might fire your ass. I had to take that. But then I asked the second question. I was like, yeah, you right. But how can I get better? And that's when they started helping me. That's when those top guys started putting me under their wing. That's when they started teaching me the process. That's when I started telling them what I was fucking up at, or stuff that I thought that I was doing well, because I was doing what the trainers taught me to do. So this is how come I understand how bad misinformation is. The trainers would teach me how to sell cars this way, and I wasn't selling shit. I was doing exactly what the trainers are doing. But come to find out, the top guys told me those guys that was training me, those guys sucked. When they were selling cars, those guys was trash. That's why they became trainers. They couldn't make no money as salespeople. So then I had to unlearn all that bullshit before I learned the right shit, before I was able to pop. You understand where I'm coming from? So a lot of you guys are probably going through that same thing. You're not getting the results that you want with women. Fuck everything else. Be honest with yourself. Are you getting the results that you want with women? Are you getting the type of women that you want? Are you getting the women that are obsessed with you? Are you getting the women that will do anything for you? Are you getting the women that only want you? You got to ask yourself these questions. Is your rotation where you want it to be? And if the answer is no to any of those questions, that is when you need to look yourself in the mirror, say, I am not where I want to be. The CLG community, you can see it in the comment section. You can also see it in the description. There's a 7-day free trial. You click it, try it for 7 days. That's the least that you can do for yourself, so you can actually take the step in the right direction, so you can get on the path to start to become great. And as you keep getting in there, and as you keep talking to the top guys, and as you keep learning, And as you keep being honest with yourself, I'm not where I want to be right now, and these are my questions. Can you please help me get there? And the top guys will help you get there, including myself. And if you implement what we tell you, because there's some guys, they'll take our advice and they'll still do their own thing, and then they wonder why their results. If you implement what the top guys tell you, you will see results. And once you start seeing those results, you rinse and you repeat. And that is how you build the life that you want to live, and that's how you get better. And once you get better, then you can start transferring those skills to other aspects of your life, where you can get better in other aspects of your life. So I really wanted to break this video down, because while I'm in Dallas, I'm not gonna do the reaction videos. I'm giving you real, raw, real information that you can use in real time in order to get better. Because like I said, my job is for every one of you guys to become elite, and I want you guys to become elite sooner rather than later. So with that being said, I am out. If you guys, like I said, if you guys want to become elite sooner rather than later, jump into the CLG community. 7-day free trial. It's only $48 a month. After that, take advantage of that 7-day free trial. Try to soak up as much knowledge as you possibly can, and then, like I said, join for the $48 a month. After you realize that it's no BS, you know what I mean, that you realize that everything that I tell you on these YouTube videos, that's exactly what's going to be inside of that community. And with that being said, man, I'm out.